to the 11th episode of the Lyrical Breakdown. My name is Sio. I'm going to be talking about the last two tracks on Torn Tapestries, namely the interlude, Dream, and Pillowcase. And I'm doing it in my gown and my pajamas because I'm putting this thing to rest. I'm sorry I've been away because there's been a lot going on. I was in a play, I was traveling, I was figuring out my next album, which some of you who are already in my musical world understand or know of. So there's been a lot going on, guys. And there is a lot to go on. So I just wanted to wrap this because it felt undone. And thank you to everybody who's tuned into the lyrical breakdown of Torn Tapestries. And again, thank you for all of your suggestions on what else to talk about and other songs to break down. But for now, let's get into Pillowcase. And this is a backstory. So the backstory of Pillowcase was, I wrote Pillowcase, wow, when I was still in Annandale, so living in my mom's house. And I wrote Pillowcase because I felt very broken. I felt very brittle. I felt very scared. And I felt like all of the grandiose dreams I have for myself, these big dreams, these dreams of living off of my music, these dreams of being an artist and that paying me and that clothing me and that housing me, because that I am actually living my dream. I just want to put that out there. What gonna happen? And I was like, okay, I hear you and I hear everybody else speaking about sort of the limitations and capping me and capping my dreams and telling me that I should pursue this life, this known path, this path of least resistance, this path of flow, this path of that many have charted and opened, this huge boulevard of a path versus this thing I'm going to go and undertake from Annandale, walking through the jungle with no idea what I'm going to encounter. So I was also, I think I was looking out for my mom. So I think I wrote Dream, the poem, in 2014. My mom had been very sick at the time, and we were put in a horrible situation where I literally had to do whatever odd jobs I could get, and I ended up doing in-store announcements at Game. So I'd be that person that would be reading, and I was just like, why is this a job? But okay, I'll take it because it's giving me transport money and it's putting food on the table, and that's all it could do. But I was grateful for it, and I was very grateful for the people who gave me the job because they literally saved me and my family's life at the time. And what did I'd have to read the specials for the day. I'd have a pamphlet of like the general things I needed to read. Like I think I needed to read every 8 minutes of the day for 6 hours bar lunch. So bar lunch time, so 6.5 hours I was in the store. However, what I did was I'd skip lunch because I hated being there. But anyway, so I'd read the in-store announcements and I'd be like, what? Let me think. Now on special in our large appliances aisle, was it? I think. Now special in our large appliances aisle, we have the LG curved screen TV at only 19,999 Rand. Game. And I was just like, I hate it here. But I did it. And it helped. Again, like I said, it literally saved me and my family's life at the time. My mom couldn't work. My aunt wasn't working. My cousin was looking for a job, but he was busy making children on the side. Elridge. Anyway, and then I sat there and I had to look at myself and I thought of these dreams I had for myself, and I'm just like, you just finished acting school. What are you gonna do? And then I looked at how acting worked, and I looked at all of the dues I was going to have to pay for myself. So I did acting and I started modeling, and that also took like 3 months to pay. So you'd wait, and then you'd borrow. So by the time you got the money back or your paycheck from your modeling gig, because I wasn't working regularly enough, you paying back everybody you owe. So you just have essentially transport money and money for a loaf of bread. So that was my life. And then I also did music, and then I found that music gave me the space to tell my stories, and I didn't have to wait and pay dues to be able to tell my stories like I saw within the acting world and on stage. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to tell people stories for a while before I'm taken seriously. Um, and I don't know how long that's gonna take and how jaded I'm gonna get, and then I'm gonna have to avail myself to be chosen. And I'm like, I already understand rejection and I'm fine with it, but I'm just like, that's a lot of work to be rejected at. And I was just like, just go right. But I did the acting thing, I did the modeling thing, and I did the music thing at the same time. And the one that popped off monumentally, like everything else was doing this, music was just doing this. And I was just like, I'm going with going up. Anyway, so that's the backstory of Dream specifically and what was going on in my life when I wrote Dream. And this is how Dream goes.
I'm curled on the floor with my eyes swollen shut from the fists of my circumstances. No light penetrates this pit where wolves howl and hyenas cackle, mocking my efforts, waiting for me till I waste of myself. I fought for nothing, broken my soul for a piece of something not meant to be mine. I find my way blindly across the shattered remnants of my spirit, barely able to pray. I don't know what to ask for. I don't want my physical wounds to heal because they're easier to deal with than the absences within me when no eyes watch. I've split my fists for nothing. Butting heads with fate was fought far too many greats for me to match. So I'm trying not to die, though death is so easy. I'm trying not to just lie and let the scavengers feed off my wasted flesh and ravaged deeds. There's no blood left to bleed. Only an unforgiving consciousness replaying those failed attempts to leave. So I breathe in the waste and taste the rotten blood. I feel the fractured bones and move in the congealed mud that's just about to drown me. I'm not done yet. I'm not going out yet. I haven't won my bet that every dream I've ever set is mine, and mine only to get.
So that was Dream. What do you think? I think it's dope. This is the lyrical breakdown of Dream. So I say, I'm curled on the floor with my eyes swollen shut from the fists of my circumstances. That speaks to all of the hecticness I'm living, all of the hardships that I was facing and feeling like, yeah, life is having its way with me and I have no defense. It's trapping me. I'm getting beaten. It's an MMA fighter and I have no training. That was life. No light penetrates this pit where wolves howl and hyenas cackle, mocking my efforts, waiting for me till I waste of myself. So that speaks to sort of the danger of those canines, right? And how you drop me in Yellowstone, it's late for me because I used to watch Nat Geo and I know that wolves can run forever and they will track you with their noses. They will run, they will chase you until you're tired. Doesn't matter how fast you are and how quick you are, but like, what chance do I stand against a wolf? Let's be real. None. So I must just make peace with God and exit this 3D realm and leave my meat suit. The same with hyenas, because hyenas will laugh at you and tear you apart limb from limb. And that's how I felt. The circumstances of life were mocking me and laughing at me. And they were literally waiting for me to demolish myself. They're like, no, we're not going to help you. We know you want help, but no, we're not going to help you. You're going to do it yourself and we're going to laugh at you in the process. That's how I felt. Then I say, I fought for nothing, broken my soul for a piece of something not meant to be mine. That comes from a place where I felt that everything I wanted to have was too grandiose. Like, how dare I? And this was also um, imposed on me by the voices around me that made me feel like it was unrealistic to pursue the career I wanted to pursue. Um, and they're just like, who do you think you are? And I also started to ask myself, who do I think I am? Like, why would I deserve to um, to work in the field I want to work and to do this work? And then I say, I find my way blindly across the shattered remnants of my spirit, barely able to pray. I couldn't. I was just like, yo, I don't know what else to do. I don't even know what to ask for. I'm just going to say thank you and I'm going to continue because I have no hope. I don't want to ask for anything because I also don't want to be disappointed. Then I say, I don't want my physical wounds to heal because they're easier to deal with than the absences within me when no eyes watch. So that speaks to how I have a high pain threshold, both emotionally and physically, right? Um, I have a Pluto in Scorpio. Was it the other way around? Or Scorpio in Pluto? If you understand, you'll know. I've been through the ringer in life already, right? So I need a lot of healing hugs and bumps and nice things, but I don't get them. So I've I've developed this high pain threshold because I've been hurt so much emotionally. And also I had a migraine, if that's how you say it. A migraine for a good 3 years, non-stop, to a point where like I became immune to painkillers. So I just go through waves of or different intensities of pain that I was constantly in. So in that time I learned how to deal with pain, and I could just put it in the back of my head and continue with life. So I have a super high pain threshold. But I will choose the physical pain over the emotional pain because I can sit in both, but the one that's easier to deal with is the physical pain because I know it is in my body versus all of myself being hurting emotionally and finished. And my heart hurting isn't nice. You can hurt my leg, it's fine, I can cope with it. You can even give me a headache for a month. I got you. Heartbreak, yeah? Ah, miss me. Hey! And then I say, I've split my fists for nothing, butting heads with fate who's fought far too many greats for me to match. And that speaks to me just looking at life and being like, what chance do I stand? Let's be real. Let us be real. Life showed Jesus flames. Who am I in the grand scheme of things? Life put him on a cross. Whoops, whoops, whoops do I think I am? Me. It put people through the ringer, and the stories are legends. I'm just like, wow, yeah. There's far too many greats, and they've conquered life, and I'm just like, you got practice. You got practice with the best of the best of the best. Who am I? Whomst. And then I say, so I'm trying not to die, though death is so easy. I'm trying not to just lie and let the scavengers feed off my wasted flesh and ravaged deeds. So that speaks to how I'm just barely hanging on, guys. I'm hanging on by a thread. I don't know how this is gonna work out, but I'm hanging on. I'm just like, dying would be easy, guys. Take me out. Let's go. Let's go. Death, come through. And death is like, ooh, wow, woman, it's not your time. Not yet. You must still do things. And I'm glad I didn't. I'm here. And I was just like, well, it's not my time. You're not coming through. I'm also not going to go visit you because it's not my time. But then everything I'm trying and everything that I'm trying to get done and do just feels like a waste because it's not catching. It's not connecting. It's not progressing. It's not doing anything, and it's like one step forward equals 17 steps back, and I'm just like, why am I even trying? That's how I felt. And then I say, there's no blood left to bleed, only an unforgiving consciousness replaying those failed attempts to leave. That speaks to me convincing myself also within context of my life at the time to stick around people who I had a gut feeling I shouldn't stick around for. And this was even before I met the Englishman. This was with an actor I had dated. And I was just like, you convince you like I've learned trust me, at this point, right now in this age in 2024, I've learned my lesson. I don't stick for nobody. I don't care. It took a while to learn. It really did take a good minute. Then I say, so I breathe in the waste and taste the rotten blood. I feel the fractured bones and move in the congealed mud that's just about to drown me. So that's me saying, okay, it is what it is. I'm in the mud, I'm in the pit, I'm broken, I'm torn, I'm bleeding. Everything is going wrong. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong and continues to go wrong. There's a threat of my mother be losing the house and I have to go find money, and I don't have the kind of job stability that can guarantee that that's going to be safe. There's also a car situation. I've got to figure out how to keep. I have to keep food on the table. I'm doing this whack job at game. That's the only stable thing, and it's not even paying anything nearly enough to cover the bills. It's just feeding us. And there's so many other things that are going wrong, and so many things I'm trying that aren't connecting, and I just like, okay, well, death isn't coming. So I'm supposed to be here, so I'm not going to just lay here and let these things finish me. So I'm gonna move through them and I'm going to fight. I'm not gonna go out like this, guys. No. And then I said, I'm not done yet. I'm not going out yet. I haven't won my bet that every dream I've ever set is mine and mine only to get. No! It's coming together, guys. That vow that part of the interlude slash poem is a vow I made to myself. I'm not gonna give up until I've conquered absolutely every single dream I have. And I had a chart on my wall back at my mother's house in Annandale. Because I that was my version of a vision board where I wrote all of the things I want to do and all of the places I want to go and all of the things I want to get, have, be. Um, all of them were on the wall. So whenever I opened my eyes, that was the first thing I'd see. And continue with my day for years. I didn't realize until very recently that I am living what I wrote on that chart. So that was dream. All right. So welcome to the second part of episode 11 of the Lyrical Breakdown. My name is Sio, in case you didn't get it at the beginning of the video. And in this segment, I'm going to be talking about the final song of Torn Tapestries. I'm in my pajamas and a gown because I'm putting Torn Tapestries specifically to rest. It needs to rest. I'm tired of talking about heartbreak and Voldemisi. This is a backstory of Pillowcase. So I had just learned, I was speaking to the rich boy. I don't know if you remember him, but I was talking to the rich boy, and we were friends at the time, and I was breaking down my internet sleuth, my Instagram sleuth, and social media sleuths findings about Voldemort with his blonde, blue-eyed, golden-haired beauty out at the beach and doing Christmases and stuff, and the confrontations I was having with Voldemort. And Voldemort was just like, you crazy, and shouting and screaming at me about how mad I was. Hey, I was too close to the truth. Too close. So I was speaking to him about it until I found this specific thing that I spoke about at the top of Torn Tapestries she wrote, at my happiest in your arms, right? So until I discovered that mosaic of them in some space, a cafe of sorts, and her resting on his chest and him reading a book of whatever he was reading, and she's writing about the reflection and how happy she is where she is. So I had just discovered that, and I wrote the song because I was crying a lot, and I was shattered, and I was just like, when I think back at it now, I was just like, I felt heartbroken, and I don't know if I'm in a good enough place to speak about how I view things. I don't believe I'm ever going to let my happiness rest in anyone else's hands ever again. Like, I think everybody will contribute to my joy. There are people I trust implicitly, and there are people who don't actually want to sleep with me, which helps. They don't want to touch me when I pee, guys, because that list has grown exponentially since the last time I was here. Woo! Yay! It's been tough. It's been rough, guys. I've just been like, yes. Guys, don't you know? Stop wanting to touch me when I pee. I was crying a lot, and I was heartbroken, and I felt betrayed. And at the same time, now in hindsight, with some hindsight, I was just like, You were actually mourning, but I've said this before to be fair. You were actually mourning the projection of the relationship you saw and where it was going. So I said, I'm never going to do that again. And I vow, I'm never. Miss me. Go over my head, go across the sides, go underneath. Just miss me. What? Just pass. Please. Yeah. So I was mourning the loss of that. I was grieving that, and I was angry at myself again for allowing myself to be hurt, which is how I deal, because nobody's protected me. I've protected me, and I have to protect myself. So I rage at myself more than anybody else, and I'm just like, you had the warnings. You knew that something was off. Your intuition told you, ma'am, not here, and you stayed. Look at you, Kippy. The dumb cop. Look now. Finished. So that's how I felt. And I had to deal with my rage at myself for allowing myself to be hurt. The betrayal that I felt with him. And I was just like, it is what it is. So I sat and I wrote Pillowcase and then let it marinate for about a year or so. Not even a whole year. And then I went to Dave because we were busy touring Subtext at the time. And I went to Dave and I was just like, let's do an album. So yes, as you know, this is the album we did. And I gave him the song and he composed it. But then he also added the lyrics because we co-produced and actually co-wrote this album. Where the pre-chorus, he gave me those lyrics. And that helped me detach and sort of rework the song so that it gave me distance. It's a very pretty song, but I still felt very much like I was just being used, and I was an exotic holiday because of where I sit in my skin tone and how people view me, or have viewed me. I don't know if they still do. I actually don't care. But anyway, it goes like this.
Sweet summertime came. I didn't know I was late. I thought you, but I wasn't the only one to fall for her body and part of her soul, her soul. Rendering everything she didn't know, don't know. My heart breaks and say all the silly things. You can hear it every time I sing. Baby, my soul rings every time I hear the words. When I see you walk away, was that just a holiday? Another weekend away. Was that just a holiday? Another weekend away. Tears on my pillowcase. Another day gone by without you. Ain't that a funny race? I never thought that I without you. Your kisses taste like ice, 'cause you got the beat in the eyes. You make me think that I can't erase. I need to face my fears without you. I was a fool for love. Blinkers always out. I was found to break my fragile heart. Love said I love you, I went with the flow, the flow. Little did I know love would break my soul, my soul. Heart breaks easy over silly things. You can hear it every time I same pain in my toes every time I hear the waves. When I see you walk away, was that just a holiday? Another weekend away. Was that just a holiday? Another weekend away. Tears on my pillowcase. Another day gone by without you. Ain't that a funny race? I never thought that I without you. Your kisses taste like lies. If you got the wind in the eyes, you better be ain't that a funny race? I need to face my fears without you.
That was Pillowcase. Woo! Yeah. And this is the lyrical breakdown. So I say, sweet summertime escape. I didn't know I was late. So that speaks to me being a holiday. Because again, as you know, I've always felt like a holiday around these people, these white men specifically. And I'm learning that it's not just them. But within context, these white men who view me as an exotic thing to sample. Then I say, I didn't know I was late. I adored you, but I wasn't the only one to. So I didn't know I was late speaks to how I didn't know that I was the side and that there was somebody else. Or he had, Voldomisi specifically, had his heart occupied by another person. Or not even, potentially just his loins. I adored you, but I wasn't the only one to speak to how I had these huge, big feelings for him. I think, in hindsight, I wonder if it wasn't just white savior complex at play. Because you know how they fed us that with the Bible and Superman and all of the superheroes being white until very recently. Just saying. Also on my part. But I wasn't the only one to, so he had a lot of admirers. He was a very charismatic, had a lot of human, I don't know now, but like lots of people were very drawn by his energy and his vibe. It was very fun to be around. Then I say, but I wasn't the only one to offer her body and part of her soul, rendering everything she didn't know. So as you can hear, I offered my body. Didn't go well. I'll tell you one day how that played out. And part of a soul, meaning there was an investment that I made in terms of energy and moving forward again for the failed relationship that I had projected. As you know, we're not projecting anymore. Um, Rendering everything she didn't know speaks to how I just didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just bought into the presentation. Then I said my heart breaks easily over silly things, and this is Dave's input. So Dave said you shouldn't take it so seriously. It's not that deep, because he wanted to make light of, or just bring a light, not make light of in terms of teasing or making a joke of it, but just make it lighter than it was. So I'm not steeped in the weight and the depression and the darkness of it. So he wrote, my heart breaks easily over silly things. And I said, oh, you can hear it every time I sing. And that speaks to how it's just a silly thing for you to be heartbroken about. Don't take it too seriously, because it'll pass. And there are many other wonderful people you are going to meet in various contexts and in various kinds of love that are going to show you that this isn't what was supposed to be for you, and you weren't supposed to waste your time on this nonsense. Cool. Then I said, you can hear it every time I sing. Pain in my tone rings every time I hear the waves when I see you walk away. So that speaks to how I'm singing all of these heartbroken songs, and these songs and writing these songs about heartbreak. This was also within the process of making Torn Tapestries, and how all of the songs lyrically, for the most part, were heartbroken and angry and sort of sore. And you could hear it even in my tone, because I've been told I've got a very sad tone. I don't know what that means. I should be singing the blues, y'all. When I hear the wave speaks to how, when I hear music now, and the music I thought we'd make that hurts or hurt, it doesn't anymore, trust me. And then I say, when I see you walk away, because it hurt for him to walk away at the time, for various reasons, for my own selfish ones, as well as his, because we're both selfish at the time. Then I say, was I just a holiday? Another weekend away. I say that twice. And that speaks to like how, is that really all that was? Was the more of it just in my mind, and me questioning that? The chorus goes, tears on my pillowcase, another day gone by without you. Speaks to all of those. And it wasn't really that long that I cried that much. But well, to be fair, it was a lot to cry every day, all day, essentially for 2 weeks straight, and rage the rest of the time, and not eat and not sleep. So yeah, that wasn't healthy. Tears on my pillowcase, another day gone by without you. So that's what that speaks about. Pain that I can't erase. It's erased, just so by the way. But I never thought that I would doubt you. Speaks to how hurt I felt at the time, and I thought I could depend on him, and he was not dependable. Your kisses taste like lies, because you can't look me in the eyes. It speaks to like, if we'd met again and we had to encounter each other, how that would feel to engage with him in any way. It would just feel like a lie. Whatever he said would not be true. And then I also realized that everything he had done, because I'd always been the side, was a lie. And his kisses tasted like lies anyway, because that's all they were, lies. And then I say, you left me pain that I can't erase. I need to face my fears without you. That speaks to how I thought I'd never get over it. I did. Praise the Lord. Sarangeyo. Thank you very much for taking care of me in that sense. But then I needed to face my fears without you, and that was the fear in context of the song of losing our relationship. I've lost it, I'm fine. And then I say, in the second verse goes, I was a fool for love. Blinkers always on. So there was a lot of rubbish going on around the periphery of where I'd allowed myself to look. And then I say, I was bound to break my fragile heart. Which means, because I wasn't looking at everything around me, and I didn't give myself as much visual as much room to see the truth and hear the truth and feel the truth and experience the truth, because I was just looking here and nowhere else. I was gonna hurt myself, so it's my fault, and I take it. So I relinquish it from you, and I'm taking on the responsibility of screwing myself over, because this is my fault. There's nobody who protected me. I went into this. This was my choice. Look now. I said yes. Hey, look now. So that's what that's about. And then I say, love said I love you. I went with the flow. Little did I know love would break my soul. That speaks to the previous parts where I was just like going with the flow and going with what somebody said love was. And yes, to be fair, I'm not the best candidate, and not necessarily candidate, but I'm not the best at gauging what love is. I don't know what that is. I've realized very recently that I've never really been loved from people interpersonally, except within my work context. I found brothers, like brothers in music. Like, they got my front, my back, my side, inside and out. Like, if I end up in a situation where my life is at risk, or I'm in jail, they're not even gonna ask what you did. They're gonna be like, how can I get you out? Then we'll talk about how to fix it. I have people like that in my life through music, which has been a blessing. So I found my family in music, which has been an absolutely incredibly beautiful thing for me, because I thought I'd never be loved, and I found out that I was. But romantically and familiarly, and friendically, if there's a word, I know my people. I know my people, but like just by blood and the people that I grew up around, it's alright. We move. And then I go back to my heart breaks easily over silly things. You can hear it every time I sing. Pain in my tone rings every time I hear the waves when I see you walk away. And then I say, tears on my pillowcase. Another day gone by without you. Pain that I can't erase. I never thought that I would doubt you. Your kisses taste like lies. Because you can't look me in the eyes. You left me pain that I can't erase. I need to face my fears without you. And that concludes. Woo! I just need a moment. Yeah! Yes! That concludes the lyrical breakdown of Torn Tapestries. I'm so happy I'm putting it to rest. I'm going to go and rest. Yes! Thank you so much for tuning in to the 11 episodes of Torn Tapestries, the lyrical breakdown of Torn Tapestries. My name is Sio. I am a singer, songwriter, actress, model, poet, DJ. What else am I? Producer, published author. Yeah. Yes, as recently in a play, I had to act, and I can do an American accent now. So, peace!